tonight in our news, we are happy to have Sarah Munyi, communications and leadership expert in our studio. Sarah will be hosting the East African Public Speaking Convention this Saturday, December 7th. Sarah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Olive.
Yes, I'll start by asking you this. Can you begin by telling our viewers a little bit about yourself and what you do for a living?
Fantastic. Sarah Munyi is my name, and I am a leadership and communications expert. I help people overcome the fear of public speaking. I help people be able to know that they can lead, that they have the ability to lead, and they just need to build the capacity to lead. Now, the language of leadership is communication. You cannot lead well if you cannot communicate well. For you as a leader, as a professional, as an entrepreneur, even as a student, you cannot do very well in your profession, in your expertise, in your career, if you cannot communicate well. And so that is why we are having this convention, to make people know that they need to, it's good to work on your communication skills. And you know what, even if you think you're a great communicator, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. You can always do better. You can always get out of comfort zones and do better, and so that you can speak for impact and with influence.
Now, moving ahead, tomorrow you have the East Africa Public Speaking Convention. Can you tell us a bit about this conference and why should professionals and entrepreneurs attend it?
First of all, I'm so excited that we are hosting the East Africa Public Speaking Convention here in Kigali, Rwanda. Rwanda is beautiful, and Visit Rwanda is huge, and that is why we are here. We think that it's important for entrepreneurs and professionals to attend the conference because, first, you need to build confidence. For you as a leader, for you as an entrepreneur, for you as a professional, it's important for you that you build confidence, because if you can be able to communicate well, you can be able to stand before people and articulate your vision. You can articulate, you're even showing your expertise in whatever it is, whether you're a lawyer, you need to have good communication skills. So we want to encourage entrepreneurs and professionals to attend. I mean, anyone who you feel that you want to do better in your career, you want to do better in your craft, whatever it is that you do, this will be a great conference for you. And then I want to say this: when Martin Luther stood in Washington in that fateful day of August 1963 and said, "I have a dream," that is what made us remember Martin Luther, not because he was fighting for the civil rights, that was great, but we remember him for that one speech that he made. Public speaking has the power of turning a common man into a statesman. And so if you can be able to stand before people, you speak with impact and influence, and you can be able to move people, you can be able to get the best out of a speech, I think that would be a great way for you to get ahead in your business and in your career.
Now, let's come back to public speaking itself. What are the qualities public speakers should strive to develop?
Yes.
You know, and how do you, as a life coach, help clients to attain those qualities?
Sure. The first thing is that every public speaker needs to know that they're a researcher. Because when you stand before people, we want to hear two things. We want to hear what you know and how much of it you know. How much of it is your expertise? People want to listen to an intelligent person, for sure. And we feel safe when we feel like, oh, somebody, we have an expert. We feel safe and we relax. And so you need to develop your research skills. And in this day and age, we are in the 21st century. You better know what you know, and you better know what you're speaking about, because we can chat GPT anything. Whatever it is you're talking about, we're going to be correcting you and giving you counter arguments. So you need to research very well. And whatever you're speaking about, can it be backed by statistics? If you have, so they can reinforce your point. Do you have a story that you can share that can reinforce? A public speaker is a researcher. This is what is giving you the right to stand before people, because if you don't have a message, you sit down. You shouldn't stand before people, for sure. That's the quality number one. You need to be a great researcher. Quality number two is confidence. You cannot really persuade us in anything you're speaking about if you don't have confidence. If you are full of anxiety and you are forgetting what to say and you're making all the mistakes, you have nervousness, we also doubt. You know, the audience also start doubting what you're saying. Even if you're an expert and you know what you're speaking about, but there's no confidence to back it up, we are also not sure about it as the audience. And so confidence is another skill that we need to master as an entrepreneur and as a public speaker. Every public speaker is a confident person. The other quality, and the last one, is the ability to be able to do audience analysis. To be able to know, who am I speaking to? And so that when I speak to them, I'm relevant. When I'm speaking to youth, I can speak the same message to youth, but I will deliver it differently to another audience, like in a church. Because I have to put in mind, who am I speaking to? And together with that, in the same breath, I want to say, you also need to have wisdom, discretion, understanding, so that you know, what do I say when, to who? We need to know that. Otherwise, the people who don't have that wisdom, and you get yourself into trouble because you shouldn't have said that. You didn't have the wisdom or even the discretion to know this can be said here, this cannot be said here. We need to have that kind of wisdom as a public speaker. Those are some 3 of the, I would say, the foundational qualities you need to have as a public speaker.
So how do you, as a life coach, help these people attain those qualities that we have just talked about?
First of all, I want you to know, as a speaker, nobody knows that you feel the fear. We want, first of all, to deal with the fear, because the fear only exists here in the mind. Let's destroy it from there. That's the first thing. Nobody knows that you feel the fear, so don't show it. And the audience is not expecting you to feel. First of all, we want to know, let you know that nobody knows you have the fear, so don't show it. The audience is not expecting you to feel. Actually, we feel there's a reason as to why it is Olive who is speaking and not us. So we are expecting the best. Please don't fail us. So nobody knows you have it. The other thing that we help you is to be able to deal with that anxiety, whatever anxiety you have, be able to assist you in how you research, how do you build a message for any audience. We help assist you with that, because one of the greatest fears that people have in public speaking is, what if I forget what to say? What if I have an audience of, maybe it's you know, presidents, or maybe it is, you know, leaders. And this is an audience I've never seen before, or I've never addressed before. What if I forget what to say? What if I make a fool out of myself? And so we can handle this with showing you how you can build your message for any audience, even for new audiences that you have not handled. Because you may be a great speaker to a certain kind of an audience until you face a different kind of audience. Maybe you have a group of lawyers. This is an expert audience. You've never spoken to a group of lawyers or a group of doctors before, and you find you have the fear. So we help you to be able to know, how do you build a message for any audience, and 2, how do you deal with that anxiety? And of course, number 3, how do you deliver with impact so that you are even memorable? Because you may know what to say, you may have the confidence, but then you are not impactful at all. As a matter of fact, you're boring. You know, how do you speak with impact so that even if there were 5 panelists there, we know who we came to listen to, and we know it's you that we remember, because you are impactful and you are influential.
Yeah, Sarah, as we come to the end of our interview, I would like to know, is this the first edition of the East Africa Public Speaking Convention? Or if not, what is new about this particular edition of this year? And also, is there anything you would love to share with our viewers before we close?
Yeah, so this is, I would say this is the first, although we have been doing a lot of build-up in Nairobi. We have done a lot of build-up, I think, from January, because we host this in Nairobi on a monthly basis. And then we said at the end of the year, we're going to crown it all in Kigali with an East Africa Public Speaking Convention. So I'll say this is a culmination of a work that has been going on, and we are excited about it. And of course, the other thing I want to say is that every public speaker is a leader. If you're a public speaker, you need to know that you're a leader. Every public speaker is an influencer. You need to know you're influencing an idea. And the last thing, every public speaker is a dealer in hope. You need to know that I don't care what you're speaking about global warming, you're speaking about climate change, adaptation and mitigation, you're speaking about leadership, you're speaking about communication. Ultimately, you're selling hope. Every public speaker is a dealer in hope. Please do not leave us at a valley. Show us the gravitas of the issues that are at hand with the climate change, and then take us up to the mountain, leave us at a place of hope. That way you dignify people, you give people hope, because we need to give people, everybody needs hope. Leave us at the mountaintop with hope.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing your valuable insights with us today, and we wish you a successful conference tomorrow.
Thank you very much.